All right, talking about Nigeria Professional Football League, games are still going on in Nigeria, and Rangers beat Katsina by a lone goal, and that pushed them to the top half of the table, which the players are really happy about. Confirmation of that result.
Yeah.
If we can say that 1-0.
1-0 for Rangers in Enugu against Katsina United. Chinonso Ezwike scored what turned out to be the winner just 1 minute after the restart of the game. And like Cecilia said, for the first time in a long time, Rangers are no longer in the bottom half of the NPFL. And it's something to build on, Shola.
Yes, it is. We actually enjoyed when they were struggling.
You did?
Yes, for banter's sake, you know.
Okay.
There are things that you want to always throw at people. There are a lot of Rangers fans who are my friends, and you want to call them out a couple of times to say, what's your team doing there, you know. But now we can't joke about that anymore. I'm happy that they were able to pick up a couple of points to push them into the 8th position or so, which is good for them, good for the NPFL, that a team with pedigree at least is finding its way to where it really should be, based on the kind of teams that are in the NPFL.
Yeah, you're right. And to be fair to Rangers fans, they've been adamant all along that Rangers will not go on relegation. Like, I mean, still the only club yet to go down, and they've been very
bragging
confident.
rights should continue.
There's always,
I mean, good on them.
When you hold on to those kind of records, there's just going to be a day when things will go the other way, you know. So they should calm down, Joe.
Exactly. Calm down, just see, because you never can tell. Never say never.
Yeah.
Now, talking about, still talking about Nigerian Professional Football League, I mean, the regulators of the Nigerian League, they've been getting a whole lot of, backlash because of the incident that happened on Sunday. Now, NFF President Amaju Penning is reacting to this, how we can actually have a safe football league.
In the most sophisticated leagues all over the world, Marc Granfo died while he was playing for a very top, a top club in France, so it happens. But what we try to do is to minimize the risk and those unavoidable deaths, what can be avoided. Immediately, what we did was in ensuring that moving forward, every game to be played, there must be some kind of subtle rehearsals. The match commissioner, they have to test run every facility, the ambulance, everything, the defibrillator, everything that they have in line with the club licensing provision. In terms of medicals, we'll make sure that everything is in place before any game, otherwise that game will not be played. And once that game is not played, we'll look at the books. If it means you forfeiting those points, we're going to enforce it. We're not going to take it lightly. We're also going to look at other issues. We are setting up a committee, possibly 2 committees, one on security. That has to do with some security breaches in some of the stadia on the ongoing league. They have to look at the best ways to see how we can stem that tide. We also have to look at, the medical areas, setting up a committee that will also advise us on other areas that we might not be thinking about.
All right. Okay. I don't know why you guys were busy laughing behind the scene. Even the director behind also making me laugh and all that. Shola, you heard from NFF president. He says going forward, they're going to ensure these things are enforced. It's been there, but the thing is that the compliance and those who are to regulate it for clubs to comply with it have not really been doing their job. That's what it seems to be happening right here.
They're not doing their job. Who's supposed to make them do their job?
It's the compliance we're talking about.
Yes, who's supposed to make them comply?
Okay, the regulators are supposed to make them comply.
Exactly.
They have too many things they're doing. For instance,
someone
we had on the
by
match
now should have resigned his or her position. We will get there in this country when we start to take responsibility for our actions. A family has been deprived of their breadwinner. A young man has been cut short in his prime.
Right.
But all we can do is say going forward. That guy has paid the ultimate price with his life. I didn't know Martins until he died, so I'm not going to lie. But what I've heard, he was going somewhere with his career. I heard really glorious things from players who knew him, and a few administrators who had worked with this young man. And he's paid the ultimate price because some people fail to do their jobs. Let's talk about this thing, and let's get it real. I've said it before, I'll say it again. It's good to have a league, But if we do not have what it takes to organize a professional league, we call it the NPFL. What is the P there?
Professional.
Professional.
If we're not ready, let us go back to the drawing board. Let us scrap it and rebuild
You're
it from
one of
scrap.
those that's saying we should
From
suspend
scratch.
it, man.
I'm not asking for them to suspend the league. I'm asking for them to use this opportunity to rebuild the league. It's not about, look, was this not the same league that they stopped halfway and dashed one club the trophy? Is it not the same league? Now someone has died. And I saw the video, I saw the pictures, I saw what they called an ambulance, and I laughed. I laughed at how callous we are, how we don't care. Now, do they even have insurance for these players? Let's start asking these basic questions. Do they have insurance for these players? Do they have match day insurance for the fans? If this had happened to a fans, if there was maybe a stampede or what, do they have the facility to take care of these people? How many of these stadiums have clinics that are functional? Because you keep talking about what they've done, what the Nigerian league has done for years, and we've attended several games, and we start to be corrected. What they've done is to paper over all their problems, you know? So if you're supposed to have X number of policemen, you have them there, they're not harmed because they're not allowed to carry guns inside the stadium, but the perimeter should be protected. We know what happens. There's a reason why some of us avoid stadiums these days. We need to stop playing around with people's lives. You said going forward. It's not about going forward. It's about knowing that you should have done this
Right
in the
from
past,
the very start.
from the get-go.
Yeah.
How many of these teams have doctors working with them? Don't even talk about physiotherapists or nurses.
Certified doctors. No.
How many of them
Psychologists also.
actually carry out proper medicals before the start of the season? As against going to get documents to cover them, certificates for registration purposes. If the clubs cannot handle their medicals, it's time the LMC centralized the screening of players. We will wait for the autopsy reports to find out what actually went wrong. But what we're seeing, based on what we've seen, is
the
that
video.
we don't have anything when it comes to the area of first aid.
Aid treatment, yeah. Or some clubs don't have it. I think some clubs do. I think Rivers United and some other clubs have these things, but
Hence
not all the
the
clubs.
reason why we're saying
Every
that if
centralizer.
it's only 4 clubs,
Those clubs should play.
those should be the clubs
All
in the
right,
professional
okay.
league.
Right.
Create the 3rd and 4th tier for them, for the ones that are not ready.
Okay.
It is not by force.
right.
You're killing people. People are dying. And it shouldn't happen like this. So don't tell us going forward, do your jobs.
I can understand
And
that.
stop
I mean,
allowing young people die when they're not supposed to.
it's a debate that's going to go on for a very, very long time until, you know, something really good is done in the Nigeria Professional Football League. All right, time to take a look at the papers right now. Start with Complete Sports. And for everyone that has been thinking Igalo is going to come back to the Super Eagles, the brother is talking. Maybe it was because of what he told the brother. Complete Sport, that's where I'm starting from. And the picture right here is of Odion Igalo. And it says, Igalo not considering Super Eagles comeback, reveals brother of the United forward. Complete Sports, that's the paper I'm looking at. Igalo on the prowl again. That's Europa League updates, man.
Yeah,
First,
we
another
talked
goal.
about
You
that.
mentioned
There's no
it.
problems
So-
with him saying he doesn't want to play for the Eagles. He's
Doesn't
done
have to come
everything that he could do. And if he still wants to come back and Raw wants him, then they should
That's
bring
his
him back. So
prerogative, yeah.
we shouldn't lose sleep over that. Thank God that we have a lot of options in that
Absolutely.
department.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, coronavirus crisis. CAF has ordered that the Super Eagles game against
go
the
ahead.
Sierra Leone will go ahead. So this is a good one. For some were thinking qualifiers more.
Really
Senfet has
affected.
also actually insisted that AFCON qualifiers must be postponed.
well.
But then CAF is saying it's going ahead because there's no pandemic in Africa. Okay.
All right, let's move on to Sports and Life. That's our next paper for that we're going to review next. And LASK Manchester United, Igalo ready for a tough test. It's going to be very tough against LASK. What else? Pogba performs U-turn on United future. Shola, I know you have a lot to say about it.
Pogba should go. He shouldn't stay. He wanted to leave the team when the team was down. And now that they are the up and up, they've won, I think, their last 9 games
10
or
and
so.
10.
You know, so I think he should. Even his agent went to Twitter
and said,
he was
United
tweeting
don't
about
have
how they have to
ambition,
let him go. You know, so he should go. He shouldn't come and.
It's bigger than the club, so he should go.
He
Let the
should.
club
He
stay on the
should.
road. Yeah,
Because
he should go.
if you bring him in now, you're gonna have to bench
Yes.
Matic, Fred, or Fernandez.
It's going to disrupt things,
And
right?
those guys have been able to like play together very well.
Pastor Fred has been amazing.
Yeah, he's been amazing.
Pastor Fred, yeah. Coronavirus impact. Italy impose a travel ban on Ekong, and I know.
So they're not going to travel to Nigeria.
I think they should stay back.
They should stay back
I think
as
they
well.
should stay back.
Yeah.
So it's understandable.
Yeah, yeah. There are options that could.
There are
easily
options. There are options.
Good
slot
options,
in.
okay. Those coming from other leagues. Alright.
Preferably someone from the local league this time.
Preferably, right?
Preferably
Yeah.
2 players from the
Yeah, they can actually fit in.
NPFL.
Yeah, why not?
Yes.
They can actually fit in,
Why
and
not?
there's no fear of coronavirus.
All right, last paper, Cecilia.
Sporting Sun is the last one this morning. And in Sporting Sun, you have Llorente double, Morata's late goal, and Liverpool's reign. You also have Neymar, Bernard, and PSG to quarterfinals. The coronavirus Arsenal players
Quarantined. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I was looking out for that
14
game.
days, yeah.
I kept on flipping
Oh, you
the
didn't want,
remote.
You didn't
And
want the show, yeah.
Yeah.
It was postponed.
yeah,
Yeah,
so I didn't.
Hopefully.
Juventus to sign Harry Kane this summer. I know this is not happening anyway. Indeed, they enjoy.
Never say never, though, Cecilia. Never say never.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Juventus. Is it the same Juventus or is
unlikely.
another one? We need to wrap up the show.
It's
We'll
very
discuss it
unlikely,
outside.
but it's not
gonna
impossible.
happen.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Thank you so much, Shola, for coming on the program.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, appreciate your time.
That was a pleasure.
Thank you guys for watching. I'm Cecilia Mogwe. Bye for now.
I am Taya Salam. Enjoy the rest of your day.